Hello and welcome to this 5-minute teaching on the supernatural agape love of God. I'm Pastor Jack Shoup with Grace Fellowship of Georgetown, Kentucky. We're exploring how we can walk in supernatural agape love. We started reading from a passage in John chapter 12 in the last session. We've covered it before. In verse 24, Jesus says this. He says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall to the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit." What we're looking at is, the Bible says the fruit of the Spirit is love. So one step of walking in supernatural love is to die as a seed. See, I've already mentioned over and over again we're to live our life as a seed. But part of a seed producing fruit is the outer shell has to pass away first. It's got to be dissolved first. And so many times we've been hurt in life. We have been rejected. Maybe we've been abused. And what happens is we start to put up walls. Well, walls reinforce the shell around us that needs to be dissolved. See, to live your life totally open to rejection, totally open to being attacked, mocked, taken advantage of, requires that you live a life without fear of any of those things taking place. And we've spent so many years building walls around our life that it's hard for us to pull those down often. But I'm telling you, it's very difficult for someone with all these protective barriers, all these inner vows they may have made that I'll never let anybody hurt me again, I'll never open myself up again. All they've done is reinforce the shell around you as a seed to keep love from having its perfect work and will in your life. See, a person that's a victim is so self-protective that they're so inner guarded that they can't live outwardly. And a victim mentality will prevent you from walking in the agape of God. We're called to set those self-protective mechanisms aside. When I think of Jesus, he was the fullness of the Godhead bodily. And I will assure you, Jesus walked in 100% agape 100% of his life. He was 24/7 walking in love. Yet guess what? He was abused. He was attacked. He was mocked. He was crucified by the people he was trying to release love to. The very people he gave his life to redeem nailed him to the tree. Yet all this attack, all this rejection, all this mockery, even the crucifixion, he says, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." He was willing to lay down the victim mentality. He was willing to open himself up as a seed to give his life without any concern over what was taking place in his life. What an example that we have. Now listen, Jesus made a determination not to build walls. We've got to make a decision to tear them down. You know, Jesus talked about some of these where he says, "Bless your enemies." Well, you know, I got walls built up there. I don't think I want to do that. Forgive those that have hurt you. No. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not letting that happen again. I'm not saying you have to be an enabler, but you can't let it affect your willingness to be a seed and be a blessing. And when Jesus was talking about forgiveness, when he's talking about blessing your enemies, he's trying to get us to live in a fashion that we don't have walls. We live our life as a seed, and we can bring forth the fullness of the fruit of love. Now let me say this in this session as well. Just because you live your life as a seed, just because you live as a crucified life, doesn't mean you're miserable. I'm having the best time I've ever had. Ever since I became a Christian, no more hangovers, no more fear, no walking around feeling abused or rejected anymore. I get to live my life liberated from all of that. And I'm having a great time. A lot of people believe because I'm going to live as a seed, I'm going to live a crucified life, I'll be miserable all of my days. Listen, I believe the Bible tells us, well, I know it does, I believe what it says, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. You'll have some suffering because you have to lay down your will. But I believe if you'll walk in the promises of God to their fullness, they can't touch a hair on your head. You'll be blessed coming in and blessed going out, and everything you put your hand to will prosper. See, love makes this all possible because faith that we see the promises manifest through, faith worketh, it's energized by, is powered by agape love. Be blessed.